straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, I'm Rupha Ramani and you're watching Firstpost. India just wrapped up an exhausting, exhilarating Cricket World Cup in the country, and within 7 months there will be another World Cup upon us. The T20 World Cup in June 2024 in the West Indies and the USA. Every World Cup always sees a change. Some ride the wave out, whilst others are waylaid. It proves to be the final hurrah for some lucky ones and for many a possible end of the road. But this World Cup in 2024 will provide some opportunity at redemption. At least that is what Indian cricket fans will be hoping for. But many of the top Indian cricketers and support staff are still yet to surface from the defeat in the World Cup final. What is India's road to the next World Cup? We will tell you right here. And who is the king of the hoop? Who has managed to hold off any contention despite being the oldest on the circuit? Stay on to know more on that. And we also get you excerpts from a star athlete who's dominated the world stage time and again and is raring to have another go at it. All of that and more on the show, but first, the headlines from Sports 360. The International Olympic Committee has confirmed the French Alps and Salt Lake City as sole candidates to host the 2030 and 2034 Winter Games. The IOC said Olympic chiefs would now move into targeted dialogue with the two candidates. The French bid moved forward at the expense of the two other candidates, Sweden and Switzerland. Only Salt Lake City in Utah in the United States has launched a bid to host the 2034 Games. In a historic first, Uganda has qualified for the 2024 T20 World Cup with 5 wins from their 6 games. Uganda finished in the top 2 in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup Africa region. This will be their first appearance in an ICC event. They join Namibia from this region. New Zealand captain Kane Williamson put up 100 on a slow track in Bangladesh's Sylhet on day 2 of the first test. This was the 29th test century of his career and has brought him level with India's Virat Kohli and Australia's Sir Donald Bradman. He also became the first New Zealand batter to make hundreds in 4 successive test matches. And it's rehabilitation time for England's test captain. Ben Stokes has undergone a successful knee surgery. Stokes had reversed his retirement decision to play the ODI World Cup and also decided to give the Indian Premier League a skip next season. England takes on India in a 5-match test series starting in Hyderabad on the 25th of January. And moving on to the latest from the Champions League, the Red Devils are on the brink of a Champions League exit after a 3-all draw at Galatasaray. United twice let a 2-goal lead slip, leaving them at bottom of Group A. Erik ten Hag's side need to beat Bayern Munich in their final match at Old Trafford to have any chance of qualifying at all. But even that victory won't be enough if Galatasaray beat FC Copenhagen in 2 weeks' time, or the Danish champions take at least 4 points from their final 2 matches. And England rugby captain Owen Farrell has decided to sit out the 2024 Six Nations and take an indefinite break from the international rugby to prioritise his mental health. Farrell says he will continue to play for Premiership club Saracens and has played 112 tests for England and 6 for the British and Irish Lions since making his international debut way back in 2012. But tonight we start the show with Team India. It's been almost 2 weeks since that heartbreak at Ahmedabad when India, playing at home, lost the ODI World Cup final to the mighty Aussies. Now, I know it's been a tough pill to swallow for billions of Indian fans, even for the players too. But it's important to not lose sight of what's coming up, given how cramped the international schedule is. There's hardly any breathing space to sit down, think, analyze what went wrong and introspect in detail. So let's look at the men in blue, who really find themselves at crossroads now. You see, there were a lot of questions post that World Cup disappointment. Will Rahul Dravid continue as coach? What about seniors like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli? Will they continue to play white ball cricket? What should the team composition look like going forward? Do you get in more youngsters or stick with the veterans and the ones with experience for some more time? And of course, there's the million-dollar question: who will lead Team India now? Will Rohit continue as skipper, or is it time for someone like a Hardik Pandya to take over? I'll tell you why there's this series of questions lingering on everyone's minds. Remember, we are just 7 months away from another ICC tournament. That's the T20 World Cup. It is slated to be held in June next year and will be played in West Indies and the United States. As for the questions, we have answers to some, and a cloud of uncertainty still looms on the rest. So let's divide this into parts. First, on coach Rahul Dravid, and a piece of good news for all fans. Of course, yesterday it was announced that Dravid will continue as head coach until the 2024 T20 World Cup.
The last 2 years with Team India have been thoroughly memorable. Together, we have witnessed the highs and lows, and throughout this journey, the support and camaraderie within the group have been phenomenal. I am genuinely proud of the culture we have set in the dressing room. It's a culture that stands resilient, whether in the moments of triumph or adversity. The skills and talent that our team possesses are phenomenal, and what we have stressed is following the right process and sticking to our preparations, which has had a direct impact on the overall result.
But let's really look at how his journey has been so far. He took over as head coach from Ravi Shastri in November 2021. Since then, he has really stood like a wall with the team. His coaching style hasn't been far too different from his playing days. Calm, composed and calculated. In these 2 years, he saw several ups and downs, but he ensured that the core principles like discipline, sportsman spirit, putting the team first always stayed intact within the team, regardless of on-field results. And you could tell it, the camaraderie and chemistry that the Indian team shared over the last 24 months. Of course, the credit has to go to skipper Rohit Sharma as well for sort of holding the squad together and making everyone feel at home, at ease. But back to Dravid. What have been the biggest highlights during his stint? There was the Test series win against Australia at home. Under him, the men in blue also became the #1 ranked team in Tests once again. And of course, in the ODIs too. Then there was the Asia Cup win 2023, where India steamrolled host Sri Lanka in the final. And his meticulous planning with Rohit Sharma for the World Cup, where India fielded arguably the best ODI squad we've seen in a long time. But then, of course, there were some heartbreaks along the way, or the misses, so to speak. Except for the Asia Cup, there's no big trophy to show for that campaign, for during his tenure. Like the World Test Championship, where India lost to Australia. The 2022 T20 World Cup, where England knocked out India in the semi-finals. And of course, the heartbreak of the finals at the 2023 ODI World Cup. In fact, Dravid's contract ended with this tournament. Some reports suggested that Rahul Dravid wasn't really keen to continue. Some even said that BCCI approached former Indian fast bowler Ashish Nehra, who's of course the current Gujarat Titans coach at the IPL, to take over as the T20 coach, an offer that the pacer apparently refused. With another tournament just 7 months away, another ICC event just 7 months away, one would have expected Dravid to continue as coach for continuity's sake, if not for anything else. And the BCCI has managed to convince him for that. But things don't end there. The BCCI has some more convincing to do, which brings us to the senior pros, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, two big-ticket players around whom the team was built in the last decade or so. There were always speculations about their white ball future, especially in the lead up to the World Cup. And given that India has lost, the speculations are far greater now. Reports say Rohit Sharma isn't keen to continue as white ball skipper. There were some whispers floating on social media that Rohit had conveyed his decision to the BCCI after the World Cup loss. But the board asked him to take some time off before taking a final call. And you can understand where this is coming from. Captaincy takes a toll on you. It takes a lot of you. It takes a toll on you mentally and physically. No doubt Rohit has been a stellar captain. The way he has backed young and even underperforming players. His on-field tactics too have earned him some praise. But faltering at the final stage can really be the last straw sometimes. And somewhere down the line, all of this can affect Rohit the batter as well. Because remember, him and even Virat for that matter aren't getting any younger. Rohit is 36, Virat 35. Virat Kohli, by the way, has made himself unavailable for the upcoming white ball series against South Africa. So that means we are not going to see him donning the blues for some time now. While fans would hope the two superstars can push themselves for one more tournament, realistically, and add the IPL to it, and we are staring at a cramped schedule. The point being, can their bodies take so much of workload? That brings us to the final talking point. Who will lead Team India in the T20 World Cup? Of course, if Rohit is fit and available, and of course, willing to, everyone would want the Rohit Dravid captain-coach combo to continue for the T20 World Cup. But if not, what options do India have? We're seeing Surya Kumar Yadav captaining in the ongoing Australia series. Yes, he has been impressive in the little that we have seen of him, but captaining in a T20 World Cup is a different ballgame altogether. And then there's Hardik Pandya. The curious case of Hardik Pandya, who suddenly made so much of news when he moved from Gujarat Titans, where he was captain and led them through 2 successive seasons, and moved to Mumbai Indians, back there ruffling a few feathers. But the most likely successor of Rohit in white ball cricket is Hardik. He's been given that confidence. He was the vice captain in the World Cup before an injury forced him out. And Hardik has led the Indian team in a few T20 internationals too. And his now former IPL franchise Gujarat Titans. So he has the experience. But what about the availability? Fitness has been a sort of an issue with Hardik in the past. We've seen it. He was out of action since the match against Bangladesh in the World Cup. And now he's expected to be out of action for some more time till we get further clarity. That'll be quite a challenge because the T20 World Cup is set to take place right after the IPL. There's hardly any time then. What adds to the clutter is India's overall T20 schedule. Before the ongoing Australia T20 series began, the men in blue had 11 T20 matches to play now. We're down to 8 games. Just 8 T20 internationals to get the full squad in place, practice, ensure the plans are in motion. Given the heartbreak at Ahmedabad, everyone would pray, at least the cricket fans of the Indian team, that come the T20 World Cup next year, history doesn't repeat itself. Let's switch gears to basketball and talk about the best sharpshooter in NBA. This 38-year-old has set new standards and recently broke a massive record too. Today, we explore what those standards are. Each second that passes by on that ticking clock is a new opportunity for him. LeBron James is meant to be at the top, and there's no one close to him. His every move exudes confidence and boldness, and it's tough to keep him down. He's the slam dunk royalty that everyone is familiar with. James was designated with some lofty titles at the start of his career at a very young age, but he's surely lived up to all the hype. And currently, he's not just the oldest player in the NBA, but there doesn't seem to be anyone who can possibly challenge his authority.
The tag of who's the best in sports is always a challenging task. It ignites debates among passionate fans who closely follow their favorite idol. When it comes to basketball, it's LeBron James, who's the perfect contender for being designated as the best. Probably that's why he's called the chosen one. James is not just a basketball player though. He's a global icon, a household name even for those who may not follow basketball closely. The Los Angeles Lakers star is the heartthrob of the NBA. Earlier this year, during a home game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, he broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer.
I don't really get to, I probably can count on my hands how many times I've cried in 20 years, either in happiness or defeat. That moment was one of them when I kind of teared up a little bit. It was I can't believe what's going on, tears.
From being the Rookie of the Year in his first season to etching his name as one of the greatest players on the basketball court, his journey to the top has been filled with scrutiny. The constant comparison to legends in his discipline and meeting sky-high expectations has been persistent throughout his career.
We have a place in our home, not in our hometown, but not too far away from our hometown in Sandusky, Ohio, called Cedar Point. And every so many years, they come out with a new roller coaster, and we've spent plenty of times going up and just testing out the new roller coaster. And many highs, many loops, how fast it is, whatever the case may be, and you get off just feeling so much excitement and just feeling like I want to do it again. And I think my career has been like that. It's been like one of the great rides at Cedar Point in the sense that, your stomach drop at times, you're excited, you're yelling, sometimes you can't breathe, but you always want to do it again.
Despite all the hardships, basketball has remained his true calling. The court for him is where he finds his purpose and communicates to the world. LeBron James has now amassed a total of 39,103 career points. He's the first player in the history of the NBA to reach that 39,000 mark. As they say, opportunity knocks on the doors of those who are prepared. LeBron James, however, doesn't wait for the knock. He is a force who crafts his own opportunities. Just 2 days back, he was at it again. During the Lakers' loss to the Philadelphia 76ers, James became the NBA's all-time leader in total minutes played during the match. He overtook Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's total and has 66,319 minutes over the course of his 21-year stint in the league. So even in defeat, James continues to defy the odds, turning setbacks into stepping stones on his pathway to basketball immortality. In his hometown of Akron, everybody cheers for their native son. And since the time he became a professional basketball player, he has reached a level of stardom that's unmatched.
Incredible. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yo.
That's what Black History looks like.
Yeah. We were here. We came, we saw, he conquered. It was definite that he was going to do it when he left Brooklyn. I knew it was going to happen.
I've had the privilege to be here in many special nights through the history of the franchise. And this is just another one of those extraordinary nights and extraordinary achievements. Not only as a basketball player, but who he is as a man, as a father and a son, and as a friend, and as a member of his community and what he does for everybody. That's really his real legacy, really. You know?
From gracing various magazine covers to dominating headlines, he has turned into a global icon. And that's what sets him apart. Off the court, he's also been at the center of various controversies. His decision to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2010 sparked massive anger. Thousands of upset Cavalier fans burnt his jersey after his departure. He has been an advocate for racial discrimination and has raised his voice in the wake of George Floyd's death. Regardless of all the drama, he has channeled his energy for the right purpose. He has already set his eyes on the Paris Olympics next year, where he will look to set the house on fire like always. The anticipation will be off the charts when he steps onto the grandest court. The 38-year-old has not played for USA since he won a gold medal at the 2012 London Olympics.
Right, next week we are rolling out a special episode. Mark your calendars for the 4th of December. It's going to be about the badminton powerhouse. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. India's badminton sensation PV Sindhu, the world number 11. She joined us for an exclusive interview a while back to talk about her journey so far and what her plans are going forward. She opened up on the highs and lows that she faced during her career, her tryst with mental health, coaches, that flare up with Carolina Marin, and more. It's unfiltered, candid, and emotional. I promise you it's going to be full of surprises. The two-time Olympic medalist suffered a series of early exits this year and is now training hard before the Paris Olympics in 2024. Join us to hear it from the superstar herself. December 4th is the date.
You're 50% and you go and play, then the injury becomes more, right? So that's when we all decided that we will freeze the ranking and then come back much more stronger when I get into the court. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, it's frustrating. It's annoying. Why did this happen at the right moment? What's going on? You know, can I come back? What will happen? So a lot of mixed emotions. Of course, I am confident and I believe in myself that I can come back and I can do it.
We've come towards the end of our show here on Firstpost, but not before we bring you our last serve, the parting shot. Hold on to your seats for this one. A kayaker descended a 20-meter ice waterfall in the Arctic Circle. It's the biggest ever descent of a glacial waterfall. 32-year-old Aniol Serasolsis did the unthinkable. And for him, kayaking is more than just a sport. It's a passion he lives for. Wow, one visual that is absolutely stunning as well as terrifying. But that's all. That brings us to the end of Firstpost here today. We hope you enjoyed this, but I'll see you again tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Till then, bye.